Morning coffee. Hard to beat morning coffee. Right. I had to do something off stream yesterday to the code. Where is it? The parser. Singleton, right. I had to make slight modifications to this code. Main issue is being that I need to initialize config parser each time I read a new file. Otherwise, it retains information about the files it read previously. Which worked fine when all the configuration was in one file. But now, since let's see, configuration. Yeah, configuration now is spread over, currently 6 files, can be more. But the point is that since it remembers everything it read before, when it does this mapping to dictionaries, or hierarchy of dictionaries, it combines all of them. So each language has all the values from all other languages, including login configuration and the do not show on stream configuration. So I noticed that yesterday, that the values were a little bit off when I was trying to check I was debugging language menu yesterday, and I noticed that it had some weird values set, which shouldn't have been set. So yeah, that prompted me to go and take a look off stream, and yeah, it turns out I need to do it this way. Damn it, I forgot to change the name of the stream. Don't even have anything open to restream. Right. The title. Right, I guess the description is fine. Stream number 14. I can change the language. Implementing language selection menu, language. Can I just name it part 2? Because I pretty much will be doing the same thing again. But this time, instead of implementing the menu itself, I will be implementing the handling of language change, which involves different things. Let's get back to the menu. Right, language menu. So this kind of works. Yeah, get text. This is the part that works. And this is the one that constructs the context. Oh, so it even assigns item variables. Classify classes, errors, menu item variables, labels, field values, menu items. Let's see, how does it do the mapping usually? I think, yeah, I might not be able to use the default way of mapping things. Should I be using this mapping at all? Maybe I should provide this with within the context. Maybe that would make more sense. of the menus context. So basically when you don't have like predefined handling, but make it create it like on the go performance mapping. I thought it would be nice to have this. Well, as far as I remember, it's been a long time since I decided to do it this way. But yeah, maybe this is not the best way. Maybe I should be adding this. Right. I would have in the menu context, I would have methods that need to be called. Well, it would be the same way. It would be assigned to a dictionary like this, which maps each option to a function that will handle that option. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So menu, what would change? Handle input. So instead of, okay, let's see how it works now. Okay, gets the message, was inputted, and it checks if it's one of the menu items. Okay, gets a menu item. I'm going through this code like the fourth time, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, or something. Context menu item variables is not none. Right. So if there are variables that you need to be passed along, you call it with variables and the function mapping. So function mapping is the thing I want to change, because currently it calls from this list. And well, for now this list doesn't look too bad, but you need to keep in mind that I have only a couple of menus implemented. And yeah, in the end, this will grow quite a bit, maybe tenfold. So in that at that point, I don't think it would be of any use to have this mapping here. So instead of that, let's define a dictionary. Menu item is just a normal dictionary of menu IDs. Well, I could implement a new class for menu item and have because now what happens, I have a bunch of dictionaries with the same ID, so why not have a one object that calls all of these properties as a list. Well, and I have only one mapping. Errors, field values, menu item labels, variables. And now I need to add menu item handlers. And that's a dictionary as well. Oh, like this, none. Actually, it's not none. It has to be passed along with a constructor, because you need to know who handles, like each menu will be handled by something. So yeah, that has to be mapped. Right. So how this would look like? Right. Add another variable. Right. So let's have new item handlers. Saved. Okay. Doesn't want to give me an autocomplete option, which is okay. Sign this with a dictionary. Let's see. Well, I kinda need to repeat this, which is a little bit annoying. Make them align nicely. Take a sip of coffee. This time I put a appropriate amount of sugar, which is two teaspoons. Much better. This time coffee won't get cold. Right. And now I just need this mapping. So one will be mapped to this. That. Language selection menu mapped to this function. Last but not least, list bots option. I think this is the same. List bots and this. List bots, yeah. So this goes like that. These initial values can be deleted. So I will have a remaining mapping for future. We have something to look up, somewhere to look up what has been mapped previously. When I would get to that point. Right. Yeah, now I need to change the handling input that it doesn't use function mapping. It actually does item selected, menu items. Oh, so it uses the key. Okay. So we would use the same thing. Well, we would use text. The same way we use it to select a menu item. We'll use it to select the function to call, but it will not be in the function mapping. It is in the context. Context menu item handlers. Yeah. Do the same for both cases, and it should work as the same. But yeah, avoiding this thing, which worked fine previously, but I think this is an improvement. Makes it a little bit more flexible. You can make so the same mapping, same menu item could be mapped to do different things based on what's been done previously. Right. Okay. I guess I can test this. See if it actually works. Oh, test. I shouldn't say test. Check. Because this is not actually testing. This is just checking if it actually does what I expect it to do. Let's see. Where is she? Oh, I can't connect database. Forgot about initiating database connection. Right. This initiating tunnel to the database. Because my database is kind of secure. Not gonna lie. Each user can only connect it from certain locations. And if I have to make a tunnel from my own PC to the machine that's authorized to connect. Yeah, and so on. And only if I tunnel my traffic through that, I can actually connect to the database. If I try to connect directly from my IP, from my machine, like it just wouldn't work. Now there's a, well, something, well, it's, it doesn't have anything to do strictly with programming, it's more about networking. But, you know, when you're a developer, you're kind of expected to know all of these things, even though they are not related. Well, people still see everything that's related to computers as something that programmer still has to know a bunch of things, not related to programming, but related to computers and networks and so on. Not sure if that's still the case. It definitely used to be. Right. Item labels, menu list, hold. Alright, database has been initiated. Connection. Okay, no crash. Yeah, it didn't crash previous time as well. Crashed when I sent the message. And now if I do languages, it should work. And it doesn't. Ooh. Menu item handlers. What's wrong? Exception occurred. Let's see, new bot. Exception occurred here. Key error, language selection. Oh. Yeah, I need to change this. Not item selected, it's text. Item selected, is it even used? Yeah, it's used for logging? Context menu items. Wait, how come I don't use anything that's... I don't need the item to be selected? Yeah, I guess menu items are actually only used to list stuff. Don't really need to... Well, it's also used to check if the text was actually valid. Otherwise, I don't really need an item that was selected. Well, part for logging. Selected item. Do I keep it here just for logging? I feel like I'll just remove it. Item ID. This will be the same as this, the message. Oh, this logging is not really... doesn't add anything, so might as well just remove it. So I wouldn't have to deal with, well, yeah, unnecessary code. That doesn't do much. Doesn't accomplish anything. I like it. This is getting simpler and simpler. Well, in a sense that the functions, individual functions, are getting more understandable and simpler. The code overall, I guess, well, it's getting more distributed, more structurized, I guess. Not sure, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is getting simpler overall. Right, so let's restart it, see what it does, how it works. This and still doesn't work, okay. Missing one required positional argument, menu item handler. Oh, yeah, it needs handlers now. So yeah, since now it's not an optional argument in the data class. So I guess if you don't assign, that's really cool. So by trial and error, I figured out how data class functionality works. I didn't even need to read the documentation. So great. So the thing I'm talking about is if you do not assign an initial value, then the parameter is required. So basically, after the instance of data class is created, all of the fields that are declared have to have a value assigned. So you either assign it by default, a default value, or you assign it using when calling the constructor. So these values are optional. So item labels, you don't necessarily have to have labels, fields to insert. It doesn't necessarily have errors, so these are optional. So that's why they have none. Field values, I have no idea. I think this is for the listing itself. So that's why it's just a list, not a dictionary thing. Do I even use it anywhere? Wait, what was that? Alt, Control H? Or Shift H? What was that key combination? Definitely was one. Google. Eclipse find references. Find all references. Control Alt H. That's what I was hitting. Control Alt H. What? Maybe this doesn't work on. Well, I'm not. I am well, I'm always confused. Sometimes more than other times, but this is just annoying at this point. Like, why doesn't it work? It worked last time I did, because I googled how to do this, how to find all the references, and it worked. Control Alt H. Let's try it different way. Oh. Am I in a Russian keyboard or something? No. I am baffled. Was I in a bad what name? Perspective? Maybe that matters. Control Alt H. Why you know work? You have to be so difficult. Okay, let's do search. Quick search, no. Search. Guess it is in general. Security search. Make this window a little bit larger. Seems like it has quite a lot to offer. Inside JavaScript. Mylin. This. Okay, don't get distracted. Node clips for Node.js. Oh, I guess it has to be in general keys. Let's look at this. Ref. References, the window. Control Shift Control G. PyDeveloper, in PyDeveloper. So, how did it work yesterday? Did I Google something else? Shift Control G. Okay, I need to make a note of this, because I will remember. Like, this is a very useful function, but it's been a while I had to use it. Shift plus Control plus G equals find all references in PyDev. PyDev, I think it's supposed to be. Oh, you won't see it, but it's in my notes off screen. Okay. Control Shift G. Okay, let's select what we want to search. We want this. Control Shift G. Yeah, it finds it. Nice. So, and from the looks of it, it's referenced nowhere. So it's just here. For no reason. Well, it's no longer here. Not sure. Let's check if it actually finds. So, Shift G. Yeah, it is referenced here. Multiple times even. Yeah, it checks if error exists. Oh yeah, so the context, yeah. Object-oriented concepts are nice because you can do things like that. And if I try to search, well, I guess it would work with field values as well. I guess I can check if this actually used anywhere. Control Shift G, it is still used somewhere. Something still uses this. It's used in selection. User selection? No. Oh, it is the in general. In the top level menu class. Get translation. Name in list. Oh yeah, name in list is one of the fields in data class. Classifier. Menus. Menu fields. Name in list. This hasn't been moved, so let's do that so we can get rid of this. That's this is like a janitor stream today. Name in list. What was the Control Shift X? Yep. Hey, still got it. I should probably have just a list. Control Shift F. No, X. We'll make it equal uppercase. Uppercase. Make it in uppercase as well. Uppercase selection. Yeah, so you select some text, press this, and everything becomes uppercase. And now, oh, it's not what I meant. What I need. Yeah, I guess it could be. It's it's a good exercise, I guess. to learn the bindings. Just S fields name in list. I guess I should change this actually to have Alt Shift R to rename name in list. Actually, separate words. Right, name in list. Is it used again? Table language. Yeah, looks like it's good. Yeah, so this no longer exists. That was just nice. So what was it? Control Shift F G. Yeah, so it doesn't find anything, so this can be deleted. Now this Control G. Yeah, it's referenced multiple places. This bot's menu. Yeah, it's used here a couple of times. User. Oh, user is no longer. At least it shouldn't be. Get webhooker, I guess. I don't really want to start editing this because it's something I haven't touched yet at all, and now I'm not even sure if the implementation is still valid. Okay, but that's not what I'm supposed to be doing today anyways. I need to create the language menu. Update user language. Takes the user and the string of the language that needs to be saved now. Let's see. The input, this is the language. So the problem it can, oh, so when it initializes the menu, it doesn't pass along, right. It has to have not just menu items, it has to have handlers, menu item handlers. For that, well, menu item handlers will all be the same. I guess it doesn't really matter, I'll just have as many of them as I need. I just have another dictionary, another one, which is maybe I should extract this into a new data class. Especially if all of them will have to be set anyways. So languages is something that's, oh, it's menu items, selection. So this will be the variables. Okay. Well, variables can be left out, maybe. Maybe at some point. I don't want to redo too many things at once. I kind of want to be done with this language selection menu because I want to move to different things. Name of the dictionary would be language. I'm selecting handlers, so handlers. Dictionary. Dictionary. Now all I do is do the same thing. And I assign the same function, language menu, and the name is update user language. So this is just a reference to that method. And here, menu item Doesn't it recognize that it has handlers? Like it. Doesn't feel right. Handlers. Handlers is equal to handlers. Oh. So let's fix the typo. Okay. Okay, now it should work. I'm very confident. You can't tell. Let's see. This language. Yeah, now it works. Lists a bunch of languages. Now the hope is that it actually does it correctly. I wonder why the order is... Well, the order represents the order of files, and it has Portuguese twice. So Russian is... I guess Russian doesn't have its proper translation. Yeah, language Portuguese instead of this.